However, the association stressed that any expansion of inmate work programs outside correctional facilities must be carefully managed. It said only inmates who are medically fit, have served an appropriate portion of their sentence, and passed comprehensive medical, security, and behavioral assessments should be considered, with public safety remaining the top priority. The POA also highlighted the operational demands of supervising inmates in public spaces, noting that such programs require adequately trained prison officers, sufficient staffing, secure transportation, appropriate equipment, and clear operational procedures. It raised concerns over the continued lack of reliable communication devices and other essential resources, warning that deploying officers and inmates without these tools would compromise officer safety, emergency response, and public security. The association further pointed to the growing inmate population, saying overcrowding, staffing shortages, and limited resources have been worsened by the increasing remand population and the addition of detainees held under preventive detention orders. While reaffirming its support for safe, structured, and evidence-based rehabilitation, the POA called for improvements in staffing, infrastructure, communication systems, transportation, security resources, and the timely administration of justice before any external inmate work program is expanded. It also expressed its willingness to work with the government and other stakeholders to ensure such initiatives are implemented responsibly. In other news, negotiations between the government and Hilton International Trinidad Limited over the future management of the Hilton Trinidad and Conference Center are continuing and are now in their final phase. According to the Evolving Technologies and Enterprise Development Company Limited, ETEC, no decision has been made to permanently close or cease operations at the hotel. Earlier this year, reports emerged that the Hilton Group was preparing to withdraw its brand from the state-owned property amid concerns over the need for significant capital upgrades at the hotel. On Tuesday, ETEC reminded that the proposed transaction was inherited by the current board and management after remaining unresolved since the original lease arrangement expired in 2023. The company said that since assuming responsibility for advancing the matter, the government, together with ETEC, has undertaken a rigorous and deliberate process on behalf of the people of TNT. ETEC said it understands that Hilton has communicated with its employees and the recognized majority union regarding the expiry of the current lease. It clarified that all persons employed at Hilton are employees of Hilton International Trinidad Limited and not ETEC, adding that Hilton remains responsible for fulfilling its current employment obligations. In some sport now, Trinbago Knight Riders player Akil Hossain has expressed his excitement about returning to the Queen's Park Oval for the 2026 Republic Bank CPL season. Speaking after a partnership signing ceremony between BPTT and TKR at the Hyatt Regency Hotel on Tuesday, Hossain also issued an apology to fans who had to endure a difficult process when it came to purchasing physical tickets at the Queen's Park Oval box office last week.
First of all, I must apologize to the fans. Hopefully going forward the process can be much smoother. But deep down inside, it's lovely to see that people turning up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning line up to get tickets, to come and show us that love and support and watch us play and represent them. It means a lot. Yes, it was unfortunate. It wasn't the smoothest process. And to the organizers and whoever is handling that specific area, I hope they do better, because these fans love and support us. To get out of bed 3, 4 in the morning, that's true dedication, and we want to show them that same dedication when we go on the field as well. So thank you for showing us that love and support. I hope all of you all got through with your tickets and ready to come and give us that love and support come September when we have the home games.
And that's what's making the news at this time. Well, joining us right now is the host of Trinidad and Tobago Today, Virmala Balkaran. Good morning, Virmala, and happy Wednesday. Happy hump day.
Happy middle of the week to you as well, Carrie. How are you this morning?
I'm quite well this morning. How are you?
I'm okay, just a little bit tired. For some reason, I haven't been able to get a lot of sleep.
This is oftentimes our conversation first thing in the morning.
It's just been some sleepless nights, and I really don't know what that is about.
Who's stressing you? Who had to go and
absolutely
probably put up a
nothing
Duke
is stressing. Yeah, I know you would. I know you would show up like that. Well, Carrie, before we continue, I have to tell you that today is a very special day. It's International Traffic Light Day. And I have a fun fact for you. Before I forget, did you know that the first system went live in 1914? So that's August 5th, 1914.
Wow, was that like right after they invented cars? Because 1914
Well,
is a
actually,
long time ago.
they just had a red and a green light back then.
No yellow.
Well, no, it was just go or stop. And
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. And we've come so far. Now we have
Now
amber,
we have a yellow, like
arrows. We have a lot of things happening here. We have
in 100 and something years, we have a yellow light. No, but really, traffic lights are a really good tool in our society that we use today for safety.
Yes.
And I cannot imagine life without it because people already drive crazy on the roads. So imagine with no traffic lights.
I am just amazed by the fact that people are okay with running lights. I
know,
sit
like-
there in absolute disgust because you're going to kill yourself and people around you. So please.
And that's the thing. Oftentimes, we come across the news a lot of times. Oftentimes, the errant driver is not the one who perishes. It's oftentimes the person who is, obeying the traffic light, going at the time that they're supposed to go, and somebody decides they don't want to wait 2 minutes for the light to change back, so they speed across and cause catastrophe.
Well, today we appreciate traffic lights and, of course, safe driving every single day. I'll talk to you soon inside the show. We're talking a little bit about vaping and the dangers of vaping inside today's show. I know you'll be very interested in that. So I'll talk to you soon, Carrie. Bye-bye.
All right, looking forward to it. I'll be locked on as usual.
Okay, bye.
All right, thanks, Virmala. When we come back, the Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show gets going right after this short break. Stay tuned.
Your world moves fast, so do we. TTT News brings you the people, events, and issues that matter most. Stay informed, stay ahead. TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
There are a number of risk factors for heart disease, so a lot of attention has to be put towards preventive cardiology. What can we do to reduce the burden due to all these risk factors? Hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, need to stop cigarette smoking, you gotta get people exercising.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live Online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by...
Hey, up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 1020 feature is just what you need. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Take it front with Officer Shabadi. Go beyond limits with Roland Stewart. Drive home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
Wednesday, 5th August 2026. The time now, it is 6:10 a.m. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Virmala Balkaran, and welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. Well, let's take a look now at what's trending this morning. Emancipation Day 2026 sparked conversations across Trinidad and Tobago about the meaning of the observance, cultural expression, and how we honor our history. And during the Emancipation Day parade in Port of Spain, sections of the audience reacted to remarks made by the Culture Minister Michelle Benjamin, while UTT Chairman Professor Selwyn Cujo was also among those who received attention from the crowd. Now, separately, UTT's emancipation program, Uhuru, Celebrating Freedom, also prompted discussion about the role of cultural expression in commemorating African emancipation. Well, Professor Selwyn Cujo joins us right now to share his reflections on these moments, the significance of Emancipation Day, and the importance of preserving and understanding our national heritage. Good morning, Professor.
Hello, good morning.
How are you this morning?
Kind of tired and sleepy, but I'm all right other than that.
I totally agree with that. Well, Professor, let's jump right into it. Many people saw the moments during the Emancipation Day parade in Port of Spain. Can you take us back now to that experience, and what were your thoughts as that all unfolded?
As what unfolded?
As the events for the Emancipation Day parade in Port of Spain.
Well, I always support the Emancipation Support Committee and the whole function. I thought that the booing of Michelle was not the best thing to do, and I think it was unfortunate.
Yeah. Now, looking back on that day, how are you feeling about what took place and the conversations that followed?
Well, it's degenerated into racial slurs and criticisms, which speaks to our differences rather than our commonalities. I would think a day like this, Emancipation Day, should speak about our common sufferings that we all have been through, both in terms of emancipation and to some degree of indentation. So it's unfortunate that we had to go down that road.
Now, Professor, as someone who has spent much of your life studying culture and history, what does Emancipation Day represent for Trinidad and Tobago right now?
I don't know what it represents. I know what it represents. I know what it should represent. It should represent the fact that one of the most horrendous crimes in humanity took place on the Middle Passage in Africa and in Americas in terms of slavery, and that we try to commemorate that and reflect on those horrors, and that what we should be doing is thinking about it and seeing what it means to us.
Now, Professor, separately, let's talk a little bit about UTT's emancipation program, Uhuru. Now, that generated some serious discussion about cultural performances and how we commemorate our history. So can you tell us this morning, clear it up for us, what was the vision behind that program, and how does UTT approach these conversations around culture and identity?
I don't know what that means. All I know is that we are a national institution, perhaps the leading national institution, and we felt that we should celebrate Emancipation Day so that people should know about it. But most importantly, we felt that we should use a very important lecture that was done by Reverend Philip Henry Duglin, Jubilee of Emancipation, a lecture he did in 1888 in terms of what emancipation meant to him, in which he went through. That was on the 50th anniversary of emancipation. He gave a magnificent lecture, and we use that as the means to anchor our thinking of emancipation. Now, others may need to use something else, but we are an educational institution, and so we use his major lecture as the way around which to talk about our celebrations. What we did, we had some professional and non-professional people read from that document, we call them dramatic readings, and build our program around that. And that's what we tried to do. The controversy, I suspect, comes into the play in terms of our in 2023, under the guidance of Gatsby Dolly, there was a program, I think 22, 23, 24, at UDT at the same Napa, under which there were Indian drummers, as I think the recording demonstrates. She says there were Indian drummers with black drummer Indians. There were the Indian drummers there and then, so that I don't understand. For example, she says it was disrespectful and disappointed, and I wonder if she really held a similar view when UDT held its Indian Arrival Day roundtable discussion and cultural program at Napa on May 20th, 2023, under her watch. According to recordings, it featured African drumming alongside East Indian, of course, instruments. So in a way, that was a UTT function. So what we did was not particularly new, but we were so consumed with some silly notions of racism that all of a sudden that became a problem. But in a way, you could say we took that, we patterned that after Gatsby, education minister, in 2023 and 24. So to me, there was nothing new that we were doing. We
Professor, thank you.
There were commonalities both in slavery, in Trinidad, I'm not talking about the world. And so we went ahead and did that, and I suspect we'll do it again.
Professor, thank you for that clarity. We really appreciate that. Any closing comments before we wrap up this morning?
No closing comments. I hope that we'll try to. I think knowledge, an institution is supposed to throw light and knowledge on these matters. That's why we write. I've just done a massive long piece, which I hope will be published on our mandate as an institution. And that's our sole function, to educate, to liberate. And if you educate to liberate, that is where you start.
Well, Professor, as Trinidad and Tobago continues to reflect on our shared history and identity, what message would you like to leave this morning with our citizens about, how we engage with these important national moments?
Well, there's a woman called Adichie, and she talked about, that's a Nigerian novelist, she talked about the danger of a single story. We are voices of many, and there are many ways in which you tell a story, many ways in which it's received. And once we learn about those subtleties, once we learn about how you interpret life, there's no one way of interpreting life. There's no one way of talking and thinking about emancipation. There's no one way about celebrating emancipation. There's not one authoritative voice who says what we must do. There's no such thing. There's no such authoritarianism in a celebration of a function, of course, that celebrates one of the most atrocious crimes in history. So the thing is, we've got to be able to and willing to listen. No one claims or has a monopoly on Emancipation Day. So that I would say, if you said what message I leave, I think we better begin to learn to listen, learn to reason. We've got AI now, and with AI, you have to have thinking people and self-critical people, a self-critical society. So what we try to do is simply to tell our story in one way. Others will tell their story in another way. But remember, as the teacher says, there's no one story to tell. There are many stories. There's no one single story. And in fact, there's a danger of thinking about one story and going down the road of anarchy. So that's what I will tell my people.
Thank you very much, Professor Goudreau, for joining us this morning. We look forward to talking to you soon again. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Right, that was Professor Selwyn Goudreau joining us, talking a little bit about Emancipation Day 2026 in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, coming up inside the show today, vaping may look harmless, But what exactly are you inhaling? We take a closer look at the hidden dangers, particularly for our young people, with psychiatrist Dr. Virmala Balkaran. Plus, the Camino team joins us to continue the discourse on the real estate market. You don't want to miss that. And then we link up with Talk City 91.1 FM. Stay with us. There's lots more ahead, so you know what to do. Grab a cup of coffee and settle in. Trinidad and Tobago Today has begun.
The plays that shake the arenas. The stories that move a nation. From football to cricket, track to tennis, every win, every rivalry, every headline. This is where Trinidad and Tobago come for sports.
TTT Sports with Nasira Mohammed, daily at 7 p.m.
Coming up on Caribbean Passport, it's pulsating energy, deep cultural traditions. It's none other than Barbados crop over. Being at one with nature is no problem in Antigua and Barbuda, so let's swim with the stingrays. Fashion, that's all-inclusive. And Caribbean tourism is at the forefront in Guyana. Be viewing Caribbean Passport as we explore the beauty of our region, right here on this station.
This August, join TTT as we celebrate emancipation through a month of culture, history, and entertainment. In collaboration with the Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago, experience the Pan-African Festival as it unfolds across your screens. Beginning with the historic Emancipation Ceremony, live from downtown Port of Spain on August 1st, Emancipation Day, TTT brings you a month-long lineup of festival highlights, including the Youth Pan Extravaganza, Pan-African Night Concert, Unity Reggae Concert, and much more. Delve into our history, heritage, and the contributions of our African descendants through powerful documentaries that preserve stories of resilience, identity, and legacy. Plus, enjoy a selection of entertaining films and dramatic stories to round out your viewing experience. This August, connect with the culture, the stories, and the moments on TTT and ttt.live/stream.
I'm Jamila Bannister, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts, and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays, 6 p.m., Tuesdays, 1:10 p.m.
Your news, anytime, anywhere. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Well, the past few days have really brought several important national issues into focus, from conversations about culture and identity and how we commemorate significant moments in our history, like the conversation we just had with Professor Cujo, to the ongoing question of how do we continue to make our communities safer. And this morning, we're joined by political scientist Professor Hamid Ghani to put some of those developments into perspective, beginning with the conversations that have emerged following this year's Emancipation Day observances, and then we'll turn our attention to government's latest approach to strengthening community security. Professor Ghani, good morning and welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, we just had a discussion with Professor Selwyn Cujo from UTT about everything that has happened since Emancipation Day 2026. Now, Professor, Emancipation Day really sparked some discussion beyond the celebrations themselves, including public reactions during the parade and conversations around cultural expression, as you know. Have you been following these discussions, and what are your thoughts on all of this?
Well, I think that a lot of what has transpired has been sort of bubbling below the surface for some time. And I think that the revelations made in the telephone conversation that was aired in the public space by a weekly newspaper has brought forward a number of emotions and issues as a consequence of that. And that happened before Emancipation Day. So that going into Emancipation Day, you already had that having been front-loaded. What took place on Emancipation Day was the address by the Minister of Culture, Michelle Benjamin, and the incidents that took place as a consequence of that. And then subsequent to that was the Prime Minister's absence from the main event that the Emancipation Support Committee was having later in the day. So I think coming out from all of that, there has been some political fallout, which is part of the normal reality of a healthy, functioning democracy. A lot of conversation has been generated about people being put under preventive detention because of speaking their minds and so on. All of that is bogus. There is a healthy debate taking place in a healthy democracy, and the reality is that people are speaking their minds and expressing their views, which is healthy. I mean, you cannot operate on the basis that you're going to treat all of these issues as though they must be locked up and put away and don't ever talk about them. And I think that we are demonstrating a certain level of maturity of discussion, and it augurs well for us that we can talk about such sensitive subjects as openly as we are. And some of the discussions and opinions that I've read about, all of this hostility and fear of all kinds of reprisals and so on, none of that is what is going on. What is going on, people understand exactly what the reality of life is. In Trinidad and Tobago, we've lived through all of these kinds of things. They tend to get hotter at election time and simmer down. I think what has changed, though, is that the last election was contested on the basis of class differences, and race was not the issue. The issue was class. And that is a unifying force insofar as the working classes, the sort of Afro-Indian working class, which is the majority element in the society, began to view themselves differently in the context of their economic circumstances and what had happened to them, because the middle class did take quite a beating over the last 10 years or so. And that manifested itself in the way the voting behavior played out on election day last year.
Professor, as you're talking about open discussions, but it's also very important that we have respectful dialogue. Sometimes I feel we err on the side of, not so respectful, especially on social media these days. But thanks for clarifying all of that for us and giving us your thoughts. Now, looking ahead, what lessons do you think TNT can take from these conversations to ensure that, our national observances continue to promote that understanding and, as I said, respect, and as you also said, inclusion?
Yes, well, I think that some of the commentary has gotten into a space whereby there has been an absence of condemnation of some of the remarks that were used against the Prime Minister in the telephone conversation that was made public, and instead has gone in a different direction. It was used to the reactions tended to focus on preventive detention orders and various other things like that to try to propel a narrative that people were being detained because they were speaking their mind, which was not true. And it's very easy in an environment in which there is these supercharged kinds of emotions for people to be able to form opinions based on a kind of manipulation that may take place. And I think that what is happening is that a number of public policy initiatives are getting caught up with some of the discussions that have arisen after the emancipation period. And I think that what is going on is that the society is imbibing all of this, and the society is not reacting. The ground is not reacting in a manner that some people may have thought they might have. And coming out of the Emancipation Support Committee events on Emancipation Day, there has been a remarkable calmness despite some of the supercharged rhetoric. And there has been the traditional government opposition lingo between one another on the issues of how the political system is supposed to work. And I think that insofar as stress testing the political system, it is demonstrating that the political system is far more rigid in its ability to withstand a lot of the rhetoric and a lot of the conversation, and therefore it demonstrates, as a mature democracy, we've had 7 changes of government since independence, and that swinging of the pendulum back and forth only serves to confirm how mature the democracy is. Some people are uncomfortable about certain terms being used and language being used and rhetoric being used, but understand that that is the cut and thrust of politics. We don't get to do this by, a one-size-fits-all type of arrangement. We don't have any traditional methodologies that you should speak this way or speak that way or don't speak this way, and so on. Everyone gets to do it in their own way. And the reality is that the democracy is robust enough that it can handle it.
Well, Professor, as I have you here, I want to switch gears just for a little bit to matters of national security now. The Prime Minister has announced that 30 joint army police posts will be established across the country over the next 4 months or so. What stands out to you about this initiative?
Well, we're coming up towards the end of the state of emergency next month. And one of the things that the government has been criticized about was we're using a state of emergency. But the reality is the crime situation is so deep and so embedded into our society over such a lengthy period of time that in order to deal with it, you have to take drastic measures. You're not just going to fix this overnight. We've been talking about solutions and solutions and solutions. We've talked ourselves to death over this issue. And the reality is that the action side of the equation is what needs to happen. So that the Prime Minister announcing 30 areas that they're going to use for joint army police posts, and that there are 6 more to be named, suggests to me that there is an intelligence operation underway in terms of determining where to position these posts, because the nature of the response and the response time and what has to happen, there have been references that some of this may recall the Zozo attempt that took place earlier this year when the legislation was not passed in the Senate, as it did not get the required 3/5 majority vote. So a state of emergency was implemented after that and has continued. I don't get the impression that the government wants to continue with another state of emergency, so I think that they're putting this in place as a response to try to sustain some of the gains that they have made under the state of emergency. And I think that there has been a quantitative reduction in terms of the crime situation and the crime statistics. And I think they want to continue making those gains. Now, they've got to do something. They can't just let the emergency come to an end and then you have no strategy, you have nothing in place. So they have unveiled a strategy. It has been criticized in some quarters. The opposition is not particularly pleased about it. And the government, in the spirit of the cut and thrust of the politics, has given a response to the opposition's point of view. And that is part of the healthy democracy process underway. So people are free to express their views on whether they think this will work or not. But it seems as though many communities are welcoming the idea, and it is the welcoming of the idea by communities that is a positive sign. And of course, what is going to have to happen is that you're going to have to assess the results once the strategy is implemented. So I think that It is something that clearly is a strategy that's being implemented. People are afraid. And I think what has happened too is that the fear of crime situation, which is a qualitative one, has been inserted into the data on crime, which is a quantitative method. So you have this clash between qualitative and quantitative. I don't want to get too technical here this morning about these methodologies, but the reality is that if we have been using crime statistics for years to measure the performance of previous governments, then we have to continue using the same crime statistics. And if they're going down, let's not try to change the goalpost.
Well, Professor, you mentioned results now, so which brings me to my next question. Looking ahead, what indicators should we be closely watching to determine whether this new initiative is really achieving its objective?
Well, safety in communities is something that, the police provide all of these divisional reports about crime statistics in their various divisions. And I think that we're going to have to see what kind of reports the police are going to provide for us in terms of how the system is working, this proposed initiative, so that we're going to have to depend on the data to see what's going on with regard to this. And I think that, the crime is obviously being fought on a number of fronts. The issue of drug lord manipulation and drug operations and collaboration with the United States government, which has been another source of criticism. The government made a policy decision that it would support initiatives by the United States as a means of trying to deal with the international drug problem that does impact upon us as a small island state, a small Twill Island state. I think that that collaboration has borne some fruit that some may assess in a different light because of the nature of the engagement with the United States. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that we are a smaller environment in a bigger pond, and that kind of assistance is important. That kind of assistance helps us. And it's not the first time that the United States has lent assistance. The United States has been lending assistance for years. And in fact, in December of 2024, there was an agreement that was signed, between the United States and Trinidad and Tobago. And with the change of government, that same agreement is being used. So I think that we need to be careful sometimes in how far we want to go with criticizing initiatives and so on. But if people are getting relief, it is something that is to be cherished and is to be praised. And I think that from that point of view, results will tell us exactly where these initiatives are going. So I don't suspect another emergency is over the horizon. I suspect that these initiatives are going to be ramped up in the post-emergency period.
Well, Professor, before we wrap up this morning, any closing comments on our discussion, anything you want to leave our viewers with this morning?
Well, I think that, some of what has transpired in the society recalls in my mind, some of the number of texts, about the condition of the working classes and people in societies, post-colonial societies, and I'm seeing and I'm recalling, some of the works by the Martinican psychiatrist and philosopher Frantz Fanon. His 1952 book, Black Skin, White Masks, really talks about, what happens in many post-colonial societies, after the colonial master has gone, what remains in terms of the society. And Black Skin, White Masks is very instructive. And also his 1961 work, The Wretched of the Earth, is another one that deals with the struggles of colonial peoples and what goes on. Also, the Guyanese historian Walter Rodney has also provided very instructive definitions about societies. His definition of Black involved both Afro and Indo in these developing countries' societies, and particularly with regard to their economic condition. So I think that, there is a lot that we have from regional scholars who have written over the years and have provided us with perhaps deeper insights into understanding our problems, and not be so simplistic as to think that everything has to be separated, that Afro and Indo must be separated in terms of the way in which they are to be configured. The reality is that class cuts across all of these divisions because it is the kind of yardstick of measurement and yardstick of analysis that allows us to see what is really going on and the extent to which the economic situation is far deeper for us in terms of Afro-Indian contestation in the political arena, which perhaps some of which is manipulated and some of which has been used over the years to keep us divided. But I think that a moment of reckoning and awakening is arriving, and it is coming soon.
All right. Professor, thank you as usual for your contribution. Looking forward to the next time that we chat. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
All right, no problem. Just about 19 minutes before the top of the hour. Do you vape? Are you thinking about vaping? Well, the next guest will actually weigh in on that, and maybe you should rethink that. So much more when we come back.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Whatever the skies bring, stay prepared with TTT weather. Committed, accurate, relevant.
Ever wondered what happens before the lights come on? Before the crowd pours in? Before the magic hits the stage? This is your all-access pass. Sneak Peek with Junior K takes you behind the scenes of the biggest cultural moments and the hottest events across TNT. From the sound checks to the stage setups, from final rehearsals to exclusive interviews. If it's about to be big, we're already there. Catch Sneak Peek airing daily on TTT and relive every moment on all our social media platforms. Sneak Peek with Junior K, where the story starts before the spotlight.
Since 1972, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack, whether it's on your day off,
long drives, or house lives.
We are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar.
This isn't just radio, it's tradition.
It's memories.
It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Always 100, guide you on your way. Sweet 100, sweet 100, 100.
Vaping Vaping is back in focus following a recent seizure by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. On August 1st, police reported the seizure of arms and ammunition along with 23 boxes of cannabis-infused vapes and cannabis chocolates, raising fresh concerns about vaping, particularly when these products are being brought into the country alongside other illegal substances. So how concerned should we be? What are the dangers? And are our young people especially at risk? Well, joining us this morning is psychiatrist Dr. Virmala Singh to weigh in on all of that. Good morning, Dr. Diyal Singh. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Fine, thank you. Thank you for having me on board.
Well, thank you for being here. Now, let's get right into it. Should vaping be a major concern to us since it has now been brought into the country along with other illegal substances?
Yes, because the whole idea we have is when you have that sort of illegal market, when you have that sort of trafficking in drugs, ammunition in persons, and it enters that realm, it means that that sort of individuals who are bringing it in, the traffickers, realize that there's a market for it. And this is the danger, because if it's being put out there in the public and they're trying for persons to buy it, we now have to realize that there's a market, and there's a reason now that we have to move full ahead to try and see if we could curb that. Because sometimes when you see these products that the police has seized, you see how it comes into certain packaging, certain colors, certain flavors. We are worried that now these are now targeting our children, and this could have a major effect in society.
So let's talk about vaping now. What are some of the negative effects of vaping?
Well, vaping, initially when vaping came out, right, when an e-cigarette was invented, and it was invented by a Chinese pharmacist called Hon Lik. And Hon Lik was addicted to smoking, and his father died with cancer. So he figured, how could I invent something not to give me the carcinogenic effects of smoking? Because smoking has if you're looking at traditional tobacco, it has around 600 chemicals. And when that is combusted, you get a combination of things happening, and you produce chemicals that is so harmful. They not only just the tar effects, but the effects of the carcinogenic effect, the other effects that affect the lungs. So he actually had, in I think it was 2003, he invented this, where now you can still get that nicotine without having the effects, the ill effects. So then he invented this, what you call an e-cigarette, where you can put in the nicotine, and you can have a little heater device inside it, which works by a battery, and now it could actually take that liquid and make it in a form that you could inhale it, and then it would now not give you all that bad effects. So he invented this with the good intentions. And initially, when those cigarettes came into being, the medical fraternity as well was looking and say, hey, this may be something, because now persons who are addicted, and you tried everything to stop them, because there are techniques to try to stop, and government, by the way, has 3 smoking cessation clinics that people have to be aware it exists. So while we were excited that, look, something is coming here, that persons who we tried everything to try to stop smoking, here are maybe a less harmful method that they could get their nicotine and still be able to get that nicotine, because, they can't stop, but they're still getting something that they're not going to be harming themselves with that great effect. So we were initially excited. But then what we found happen now, it was in 2010, a subculture emerged where persons now who are not really persons trying to stop their addiction to cigarettes started to use it. So it started to move into that realm. And in 2019, around there, there's a company called Juul, and there was a social media had persons trying to say, let's do Juuling. And it targeted younger persons with devices, color devices, and they were actually putting in those devices other chemicals that would appeal. So the world was moving away from tobacco and cigarettes. But then you realize now that this now new industry came about to say, let's now put this into place. Initially, good intentions, but now they started to target other audiences. And those whole vaping, where you're now getting the chemical, you're getting the nicotine, they started to put other things in it. So then they started to put marijuana substances, the THC. So now you're getting the vaping having those substances also. So vaping was there as a way of administering certain chemicals in the body to give you that high, the nicotine. And coming with that now is the dangers that we are now seeing in society. We now see the fallout. So yes, it came on board, but we're now seeing the fallout. And the thing is, in 2019, I think it was 2019, there were about 2,800 deaths in the United States. The CDC said that deaths from not deaths, sorry, cases where people were admitted for lung problems, not deaths, in the hospitals. And they're trying to explain why all of these young persons coming in with lung-related problems, shortness of breath problems. There were 68 deaths. And they realized that the vape cigarettes had THC, and they were putting an additive with vitamin E. And that vitamin E was causing these deaths. So again, we have to look at what vaping came as a history, but what now we are now seeing the harm that happens from it. Harm due to the substances that are in it. Harm also due to the same fact that people now could be addicted. People who would never have smoked before say, let me try this cigarette, and the nicotine in it could make them also addicted now and move on to traditional smoking.
Dr. Dayal Singh, what can we do now to mitigate this vaping problem?
Well, the thing is, we have to let people know that it's not just a harmless device. That's the first thing. Because remember, we had moved away. The tobacco industry did a tremendous job holding on to their tobacco products. They actually had research done, doctors coming on board, screen stars smoking. So the tobacco industry with the traditional nicotine and cigarettes, they held on. It was 1962. The Surgeon General in the United States warned about the cancer-causing effect of cigarettes. But look, they still battled and battled and battled. And it's only recently, in our recent history in Trinidad here, that we were able to put the cigarettes behind closed shelves. So only recently. And since 1962, there's always that lag. So we have to appreciate now, here they came with this new device. They tried to sell it as something that could help smokers, but it has now moved into the realm where normal people are using it. And you see, children too are curious. So once you have something out there, there's an element of children that will say, let's test the limit. So they may have done it before by bringing in a little alcohol in school, bringing in cigarette in school. Now they're bringing in these devices. And the danger is it's harder to pick up. So while you are in a school and the school teacher now could smell cigarette, or you not have no evidence that these children will have these devices. And that is why in the United States now they even started putting in vape alarms in their toilets and their lonely areas, dormitory, where they could try and pick it up. Because the danger is there. The danger is there. Because even Australia realized the danger that was happening. So Australia, who had a good handle on their nicotine and tobacco use, certainly found that 1/3 of their teenagers were now admitted to using these devices. So Australia came down with legislation and try to curb that. So our job is to warn the people that the harm that is done. You see, because when they come in and say it's just watermelon, it is mango flavor, pineapple flavor, the different colors, children will automatically go towards these things because they think it's not bad as a cigarette and what's the harm it could do. But two things you have to understand. There's nicotine in it. And the nicotine is now absorbed quicker in these devices. And it's a higher level than even the normal cigarette. So while you're not getting the tar and the carcinogenic effects, you're getting the nicotine at a higher level, which could lead to a greater degree of addiction. Because now these children they're getting that dopamine rush. And you know, we're actually seeing children now who are moody because they're going through a withdrawal. And sometimes the parents don't know why my child's so moody. Is it normal teenager going up? But you have to now put in, does that child now have access to vaping devices? So therefore, education to the parents, education to the teachers, education to the bus drivers to see children maybe having these devices. It's very, very critical. And besides education, we have to commend the police officers for that raid where they were able to get these cigarettes, because remember, look at that picture, you would see targeted for children, the colors, the everything that you could use to psychologically tell a child, hey, this is not harmless. But we have to show the figures. We have to show the figures. And there was something called popcorn lung, where children, young people were getting lung. They couldn't even move about 6 feet. They were getting short breath. And it was really a chemical called diacetyl, which if you find it in normal products, but when you put it in a form where it goes into the lung, it started to cause this lung problem, which we call, the fancy name is bronchiolitis obliterans, but the lungs were being basically, certain areas were being occluded.
Dr. Dayal Singh, thanks for helping us, understand all the dangers and how we can mitigate, of course, this issue. We will definitely love to have you back very, very soon. Have a great day. That's Dr. Virmala Dayal Singh talking about the dangers of vaping. Definitely something that we need to continue to discuss as well. Please look out for your children. 4 minutes before the top of the hour, Carrie's up next with the major network news.
The plays that shake the arenas. The stories that move a nation. From football to cricket, track to tennis, every win, every rivalry, every headline. This is where Trinidad and Tobago come for sports.
TTT Sports. Committed, accurate, relevant.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Coming up on Caribbean Passport, it's pulsating energy, deep cultural traditions. It's none other than Barbados crop over. Being at one with nature's no problem in Antigua and Barbuda, so let's swim with the stingrays. Fashion that's all-inclusive. And Caribbean tourism is at the forefront in Guyana. Be viewing Caribbean Passport as we explore the beauty of our region, right here on this station.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's terrific Toon Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world on Super Z, or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forest alongside our robot pals from Bugspot Ignition. Or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. It's fun-filled adventure with terrific Toon Time right here on TTT.
Your world moves fast, so do we. TTT News brings you the people, events, and issues that matter most. Stay informed, stay ahead. TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. A firearm, ammunition, and 500 grams of cannabis were seized during an intelligence-led anti-crime exercise conducted by officers of the DCP operations team in the Valencia district on Monday night. The operation, which took place between 7 p.m. and 11:30 p.m., targeted areas within the Eastern Division. Around 10:15 p.m., officers acted on information that illegal firearms had been hidden in vacant fruit stalls along the Eastern Main Road, Valencia. Based on the intelligence received, officers conducted a search of a shed near Pilot Farm Road, where they discovered a white styrofoam crate containing a firearm, 2 rounds of .45 caliber ammunition, and a brown rectangular package containing approximately 500 grams of cannabis. The items were seized and later processed at the Arima police station. The exercise was sanctioned by Deputy Commissioner of Police Suzette Martin, strategically directed by ACP Hazel, and coordinated by Senior Superintendent Ramnarayan. Investigations into the find are ongoing. In other news, increased cleanup activity was noticeable across Tunapuna, the Tunapuna-Piarco Regional Corporation's national program for the upkeep of public spaces, or NPUPs, carried out beautification works. On Tuesday, Member of Parliament Roger Alexander joined the teams as they worked to enhance communities throughout the constituency.
The project is about keeping the place clean. We will be moving from area to area on different days, different parts of the week, to ensure that everybody, beautification is important, you know. It speaks to mind, soul, and body. So what you're seeing today is just that we are fixing the place.
The Tunapuna MP also linked the cleanup effort to crime prevention, saying clearing overgrown bushes and other areas where criminals can hide helps improve the community's environmental design. He added that while concerns have been raised about CPEP operations, the government will introduce a new program once ongoing legal matters involving alleged corruption are resolved.
Persons are saying, well, you know, the grass ain't cutting and the CPEP, and wait, listen. Until matters are completed in a court of law and the corruption associated with that have been dealt with, then we will reintroduce a new program. Until such time, we are allowing persons to do their job, clean the community, beautify the place again.
Mr. Alexander added that over the coming weeks, he and the members of the Regional Corporation's NPUPs team will clean the constituency. The Trinidad and Tobago Automobile Sports Association has achieved a major milestone by securing a 1-star environmental accreditation from motorsport's world governing body, the FIA. The FIA 1-star accreditation recognizes TTASA's commitment to responsible environmental management, with new initiatives being introduced at the Frankie Boudram Wallafield International Raceway, including improved waste disposal, recycling practices, safer handling of automotive fluids, and energy efficiency measures. TTASA President Ashton Eligon hailed the achievement, adding that receiving the FIA 1-star environmental accreditation is a significant accomplishment, and confirmed the association's commitment toward achieving our 2-star accreditation in 2028. The FIA Environmental Accreditation Program was launched in 2011 to help motorsport and mobility stakeholders measure and enhance their sustainability performance. Internationally, Sri Lanka has ordered the closure of schools across its central highlands after torrential rains triggered deadly mudslides and flash floods, leaving at least 7 people dead and several others injured. According to the country's disaster management center, 5 people were killed when mudslides buried 2 homes in the central region, while 2 others lost their lives in flooding. The severe weather has also damaged at least 129 homes and forced nearly 3,500 residents to evacuate to safer locations. Emergency response teams, including Navy and Army personnel, have been deployed to assist communities cut off by rising floodwaters. Television footage showed troops navigating flooded streets to rescue stranded residents and transport them to shelters. The disaster comes as Sri Lanka continues to recover from the impact of Cyclone Ditwa, which struck the country last November, killing hundreds and causing billions of dollars in damage. Authorities are urging residents in vulnerable areas to remain alert as heavy rainfall continues and the risk of further landslides remains high. And that's what's making the news at this time. When we come back after the break, it's hour number 2 of Trinidad and Tobago Today. Stay tuned.
Since 1972, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack, whether it's on your day off, long drives, or house lives. We are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar.
This isn't just radio, it's tradition.
It's memories. It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Always 100, guide you on your way. Sweet 100.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's Terrific Tune Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world from Super Z, or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forests alongside our robot pals from Bugs Bot Ignition. Or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. Catch Terrific Tune Time weekdays at 4:15 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. It's fun-filled adventure with Terrific Tune Time right here on TTT.
You are dearer to me than all the stars. So many wish but never reach. 'Cause when I'm falling and all the world seems dark, you help me find my peace. Oh, shun mi ba fijani. Oh, shun mi ba.
Your stories, your communities, your country. TTT News is everywhere, on the ground, across Trinidad and Tobago, and on every smart device. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
We don't deal with no stress. Focus on things that will bring happiness. Try do your best. Invest in your success. I and I, voice must be heard. So much things need address. Light is the dark as is life over death. Jah will protect. Positive mindset. Despite things in a mess, we don't deal with no stress. Focus on things that will bring happiness. Try do your best. Invest in your success. I and I, voice must be heard. So much things need address.
Reggae has always been more than music. Across generations, it has carried messages of identity, resistance, peace, and unity. And those messages really continue to connect people across borders. This morning, we're joined by one of Trinidad and Tobago's reggae voices and one of our very own here at TTT, taking that message internationally. Carla Yashamani Hobson has represented represented this country on stages across Africa, the UK, and beyond, using reggae to strengthen the cultural connection between Africa and the Caribbean. And she's also involved in some really amazing initiatives empowering women right here at home. And now she's preparing for One Nation Reggae Festival 2026 in Sierra Leone, a 6-day celebration of music and heritage and the African diaspora. Carla, good morning and welcome.
Hi, greetings to you, Virmala.
It's good to have you back.
I'm doing great. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, so, you know, you've taken your music to audiences in Africa. The last time we spoke, and we spoke about, you know, just going to the UK and everywhere else. Now, what has that international journey really been like for you as an artist from Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, first of all, the pinnacle of every artist's career is being able, well, not pinnacle, one of the pillars, I would say. You know, to say if you're doing great or not is having the ability to tour, having the ability to go out there and meet people. It has been an honor for me because I have entered this reggae industry at a later stage. I started during the pandemic, honing my craft, doing a lot of voice training online, reaching out to promoters. So for me, it is a great milestone at such a short time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now, when you perform reggae in Africa, what kind of connection do you really feel between the Caribbean reggae and, of course, its African roots?
Yes, the message is the same. We all strive for peace and unity and justice. You know, we all strive for that one brother togetherness, and the message is the most common thread between our reggae and Africa reggae. The beat is different. You find like in South Africa, they have Afrikaans, you know, it's like a dancehall Afrikaans type. It sounds a little different to the Jamaican reggae, but it's the same tempo and, you know, their lyrics are more positive even in the dancehall style. So I would say the common thread is the message. The rhythms, lately people have been getting opportunities to work with producers worldwide. So you find that we're all able to access similar messages, you know, based on your choice of producer. So it's mainly the message.
Now, you've always said that reggae is a vehicle for peace and love and unity. So how important is it to you that your music really carries a message beyond simply just entertaining people?
It means a lot, even if it touches one. And I would give you an example. I have sent my music to Nigeria for playing on the airwaves, and there is a DJ there. He said, Yashamani, your song Vengeance. Vengeance is not mine, said the Lord. If someone gets you upset, you don't do anything. He would fix that for you. Don't waste your energy on it. And he said one of his callers would call every week, you could play Vengeance, Vengeance, because he said it kept her solid, knowing, listen, regardless of what people do, don't worry, you know, God got you. He's going to take care of that. And that felt really great, knowing that at least one person reached out saying this song meant a lot to them.
Yeah. Well, Carla, let's talk now about the One Nation Reggae Festival in Sierra Leone. So you're preparing for that. When is that? I know it's 6 days.
Yes.
So when are you heading there? Give us all the details on your preparations for this.
Beautiful. Well, I have been appointed as the brand ambassador, brand articulator, to make sure and invite people to the festival. So before we go on, Trinidad and Tobago, you're looking for somewhere to go in November. People save to go to England, and they would save to go to the US. They would save to buy a carnival costume. I say, save and give yourself an experience of a lifetime. It happens from November 25th to 30th. And a lot of people think that it's so expensive to go Africa. It's not, you know, depending on the time of year and these things. On average, right now, it's about 3,000 US. I know that the One Nation Festival, they have a great team. So, one, entertainment is high. This year, we have Nkile Dube. That is the infamous Lucky Dube from South Africa's daughter. She is superb. And they also have Busy Signal, who I love. This Rasta love Busy Signal, despite the little dance hall. He has sweet reggae, you know, sweet reggae. So Busy Signal is one of the headliners as well. So it's really something to look forward to.
And
Yes.
when are you heading there?
Well, I actually leave a little before.
Okay.
I am being awarded by the Music Africa Awake Foundation an award for my music, which speaks to peace and love and unity, and the works that I've been doing between Africa and Trinidad. So,
Wow.
Yes.
So I want to come back to the One Nation Reggae Festival and the fact that you're going, but I also want to get an update on Majestic Makeover. The last time you were here, we spoke a little bit about that. And for those of you who don't know this, Carla's work isn't limited to just music. She also has this amazing project called Majestic Makeover, and it really helps women who have experienced, trauma and illness or any other major challenges, to have that sort of, breakthrough.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about how that's been going.
It's been going great, Virmala. We actually did our first set of reveals this weekend.
Yeah.
It was high impact. We have Antonio, who does transformations as our stylist and makeup artist. We did shopping for shoes, clothing, and it's not just superficial as well. We also do yoga, spa,
a holistic
holistic makeover. So Trinidad and Tobago, please do not miss. It's coming out in August. All right, so you look out for TTT's premiere date on the promo.
All right, we're seeing some shots on the screen now. That's Majestic Makeover. Also, you do many things, and there's also the Positive Mindset Project. Yes. And I know that's an all-woman collective. So tell me a little bit about that program.
Yes, so Positive Mindset, this is an album which was launched in Jamaica. It's included 21 females, some from Jamaica, one was from Toronto, myself from Trinidad. And all of these artists committed to positive messages on this rhythm. It was done by Silver Diamond Productions, which is a really great producer in Jamaica. A good friend of mine, Virmala Colors, who's also on the project, invited me on it. So networking, I would say, is key, The project has been launched and it's doing really well. I would invite anyone to go online and check it out.
As you talk about networking, this leads me to my next question. What would you say now to any young woman who's watching this morning? I know they're just a bit afraid to take that leap, maybe head into music or any other types of projects that you are doing, and they want to follow in your footsteps and they really want to make an impact, and they will. What would you say to them?
I would say, Virmala, at the end of the day, you have to do this for you. You have to know what motivates you to do what you're doing. Some people do things for fame. Some people do it to make a purpose, have a purpose in life. It's up to you to know what motivates you and make sure you're motivated enough. Don't give up, regardless of what anyone says. And keep honing your skills. You will get better and better and better. Don't give up.
Yeah.
And that's my word.
Carla, as you're talking about, what motivates you and what's your purpose, what is the bigger purpose that you hope that your work will serve? You've been doing so much, from reggae and international cultural connections to women's affairs.
Yes.
So what's your bigger purpose?
My bigger purpose is to create a legacy for my family to be proud of. My mom did, and I can. To create a legacy for our country, to be able to say, hey, we are doing work in Sierra Leone, we are doing work in Benin, we are doing work in Cape Town, and I had a part to play in that.
So before we wrap up, let's talk once again about the One Nation Reggae Festival. So it's coming up in November of 2026. That's this year. And give us the details for anyone who may want to go.
Yes. So if anyone wants to go, well, you can go ahead and look online for your tickets. But what I would ask anyone to do, if you are interested in going, you can always inbox me and we can guide you through. We do not have any packages per se, to say there's a package to go, but I am definitely willing to guide any group of persons who would like to go. I know Mr. Francis Moma, he is the Monuments and Relics representative in Sierra Leone. I know he'll be happy to help me with that. He also has a group who does tours as well there, and I know we can help anyone. All right, but you can go online, check the cost of the fare. You can look for hotels if you need assistance. I am Yashamani on Facebook. You can inbox me and I will help you. All right? And you can also stay tuned to my page, which would give more info as well.
Carla, it's been such a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you.
You're taking Trinidad and Tobago and our reggae and to all the international stages and really strengthening that Africa-Caribbean connection. We thank you for that. And
You're welcome.
thanks also for using your platform to uplift women. There's a lot of work going on and we're so proud of you. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, Virmala. Thank you for having me. Blessings, Trinidad.
19 minutes after 7 o'clock on Trinidad and Tobago today. We hope that you're having a safe day on the roads. We understand that there may have been an accident somewhere on the highway if you're heading to Claxton Bay or somewhere in that vicinity. We're not too sure about that just yet. Seems like traffic is backing up. So feel free to send us an email and let us know at tttoday@ttt.co.tt. We'll be back.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Ticket Front with Officer Shabadi. Go Beyond Limits with Roland Stewart. Drive Home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
TTT Weather with Zaina James, daily at 7 p.m.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Ticket Front with Officer Shabadi. Go Beyond Limits with Roland Stewart. Drive Home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
When it matters, we're there, reporting the news as it happens, because your world can't wait. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Well, on Wednesdays, we're joined by the Camino Realty International team as we focus on a wide range of real estate topics to educate, support, and of course, empower prospective homeowners throughout the property purchasing process. And today, we're talking about something that affects anyone looking to buy land or build a home or undertake a development project in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, joining us this morning, we have Mr. Francis Paul from Wilson Arts Designs and Construction Limited, a company that has been guiding clients through the design, approvals, and construction process for over 20 years, and also Managing Director Rachel Ramla. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. Now tell us a little bit about your company, Mr. Paul. Tell us, what do you do?
Well, Wilson Arts is a design and construction company. We don't only design, but we construct homes as well. Our mantra is imagine. From imagination, you come to the company, you have an idea, and we convert that idea into a home design. And from the design, we go through the various approvals to be able to take you from foundation to finish.
Now, we're talking about approvals now. So a lot of people would hear about town and country approvals, especially young people hearing, their parents or relatives talking about it. And there's also regional corporation approvals as well. But some people aren't sure what are those and what's the difference. So can you explain?
In terms of approval, we have both regional corporation approval and town and country. Town and country is the one responsible for like zoning in terms of what kind of homes, whether it's industrial or whether it's commercial or it's agricultural land. And then the corporation would come in terms of the building permits and what have you. Right. So town and country will tell you whether you could build here or you can't build here. And regional corporation will tell you what kind of building and the permit to put up the building.
Yeah, maybe in the coming weeks we can continue talking about that, Rachel. That's very interesting and very important. Now, walk us through the approval process for some common situations.
I mean, in terms of where we start for the approval,
so like if somebody is purchasing land, if they're purchasing a vacant parcel of land,
The first thing you would have to do is do a title search to see whether or not the land is owned by the person who's saying that they own the land. And then, of course, after the title search, you want to ensure that the various, apart from the persons who own the land, you want to ensure that the land is zoned for that particular, in terms of if the land is
like if it's residential, if it's residential and so on.
Agriculture, because some areas you have industrial, you have agricultural, and you have residential.
So you have to adhere to those rules.
You have to know what type of land is it, so you'll know what type of building you can put.
Okay, right. So that's the approval process. Now, one question that everyone can ask: how long will this all take?
Oh, and that's the challenge.
I feel like he's going to answer that question because
it all depends. Okay. It all depends. People have been having tremendous challenges in terms of town and country and approvals because under this new administration, the minister is trying to make it as seamless as possible in terms of removing the whole issue of having to go to regional. First, you go to town and country. From town and country, you go to regional corporation. From regional corporation, you go to CMOH. From CMOH, you go back to regional corporation, back to town and country again. So the process, you go, it's like twice. It's a whole cycle, you go twice. So what the minister is trying to attempt to do to remove all those hiccups in terms of the having to go to CMOH, so put all under one roof, one umbrella, so it make it easier for your approval. But again, in terms of the time, the time, it all depends on whether you have all your documents in order. Sometimes people, they don't have all the documents in order, and that takes a lot of time. And that's where companies like Wilson Arts come in terms of one-stop shop. Because Wilson Arts, what we do, we don't only do the design, we walk you through the process, through town and country, through regional corporation, for the various approvals. So we make it seamless for you. And in terms of getting the approvals, we make sure that when we get the approval, we are there with you as well to manage the entire project. And if you want to construct, we construct the home for you as well.
And I can definitely attest to that because we obviously you have clients who not familiar with the process.
That's the challenge.
Yeah, and I don't know. I have like tried to attempt to help our clients, and I was like, you know what? No, let me call Wilson Arts instead. So like we actually refer clients to them because the process, in my opinion, as a young person, is it's very tedious. And as you rightfully said, it's a lot of, you go here, then you go here, then you go there, but then you have to go back to there. And sometimes it's one document, you're missing one document. No, you have to come back. You have to.
Years they've been trying to get approval.
Wow.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, some people have been waiting years to get approval.
Yes.
It can also be an intimidating process, especially for, for a young person, as you said. And sometimes you might want to give up and say,
some people actually give up.
Yeah,
that is true. Process.
Look at that. Yeah. So I don't know what to do. So
to
get some help.
Correct.
Yeah.
And professional help as well.
Professional help.
Right
That's the other thing.
Now, I'm not too sure if you've spoken about this, but there's also been some recent changes to the approvals process.
Right, which is the removal of the CMOH. I believe the minister was here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does that really change the process now?
Well, in terms of the timeline and the time factor in waiting, you normally have to go to CMOH. Well, after the regional corporation, you go to CMOH. And then CMOH will give their input, and then you have to go back to the corporation and then go back to CMOH again. Wow. So having that removed, even though that is removed, it does not take away from the specific in terms of regulations on WASA and in terms of sanitation, in terms of other areas by the
like
corporation.
Fire,
like
corporation
fire,
because, corporation is
but it takes away a good bit of the time.
The timeline,
But we are hoping that it does streamline
we hope it becomes
the process.
Seamless.
That's
because
what
it's
we're
Trinidad
hoping.
we're living in.
Yeah.
And we try as much as possible, but the challenge is sometimes the persons who involve, they are not in terms of change. In Trinidad.
They may not. Because like with all changes, it's going to take some time before everybody comes on board and everybody is knowledgeable about the change and how that is going to affect the other parties involved, like WASA, fire, and so on.
Yeah.
Because people have a way to guard their turf and hold on to their territory.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for this discussion today. But what's your final advice to anyone, planning to buy land or really start a building project?
Come to Wilson Arts. but seriously, in terms of due diligence, in terms of do your investigation, ensure that when you put in your application, ensure that you have all your documents in order. Ensure that you deal with persons who are professional, so that they can walk you through the entire process. Because if you try to do it on your own, as I said, you'll be like pulling your hair out, and it will be very difficult and tedious, and you may want to give up.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the way, somebody might want to tell you that they could fast track the process and you would lose your money.
I have a question coming in for you this morning before we wrap up. Someone is asking if you purchase a piece of land designated for something, but you actually bought it for another reason, and then you're finding out now, well, I can't do what I intended to do on that land. Like perhaps it's residential and you bought it for a commercial purpose. What is the situation there? Is it that you count your losses and just do something residential?
It depends on where you may have to apply for change of land.
Because you could, you could apply for change of land.
And appeal to the
and that may also take a while.
Well, yes, but then at least you would not lose your money.
Well, you see, Wilson can definitely help. Please reach out to them. All the information was on the screen for you. And thank you so much to come, Rachel, I guess I'll see you next week.
Yes.
We do this all over again. Thank you, Mr. Paul. And, it seems like you're really a one-stop shop. And expert advice is exactly what you need, and someone to guide you through this entire process so that real estate isn't intimidating. All right. Any closing comments before we wrap up?
Well, Wilson Arts Design and Construction Company is a one-stop shop.
That's right.
And we ensure that we make it seamless for you. We really and truly we have had persons who have come to us and they really, really appreciate what we're doing in terms of the one-stop shop for the approvals.
Do you have a contact number?
I'll have to give her the contact number, but 283-5268.
All right.
283-5268.
All right. You can reach out to Wilson Arts Designs and Construction Limited. 7:33. That's the time. Just a little update on the accident that we spoke about earlier. It is, again, as I said, in the vicinity of Claxton Bay, and I do believe the lane was blocked. So that's causing a backup of traffic. So if you are heading in that direction, please be safe and look out for that traffic and, give yourself enough time. We take a quick break. When we come back, we'll link up.
Attention viewers in Trinidad and Tobago. The Truth of God now airs on the TTT network every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. You won't want to miss the dynamic preaching and teaching of Pastor Jennings as he speaks from God's Holy Bible.
Believe what God says.
The Truth of God, every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on Trinidad and Tobago television. You can also watch The Truth of God 24/7 at thetog.tv.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
I am your mother,
aunt, grandmother,
guardian, friend, and I promise to protect you in all situations because someone has hurt you, violated you, harmed you, abused you, and you were brave enough to tell me.
You trusted me. You came to me for help.
To defend, for support, to protect you.
No amount of money
or bribes,
favors, or gifts will stop me.
You are most important to me.
You are worth more to me than any material thing.
I will do all in my power,
in my heart,
to make sure that you are taken care of and that justice is served and you thrive. Together, my daughter,
my son,
my child, we will live and love. I will protect you.
Break the silence. Report all cases of child sexual abuse.
Hey, up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 10-20 feature is just what you need. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 10-20 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
It's unfiltered, y'all. Unmatched. Unscripted. You're dressed for talk. This is The Link Up. With Talk City 91.1 FM.
Well, following off with collaboration, this now becomes a weekly feature Wednesday through Friday, bringing our audiences together across both platforms. Today, we're linking up once again with our sister station, Talk City 91.1 FM. Good morning, Lennox and Andy.
Yes, good morning. But Lennox alone, I am solo today.
I think he is doing this because he's upset with me for, that time you came and spent, that Monday on the show. And I feel like we need to have a talk with him,
Yes, well, of course, I have a difficulty because he claimed to have canine qualities, and I don't want to be bitten. Right. So
shirt, by the way, it's very, very cool.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. I did this especially. I wore it especially for this morning.
Look at that. That is why you are special to me, Lennox. Listen, this morning I was having a very, very important conversation on the dangers of vaping. I was speaking to Dr. Virmala Balkaran, and as you know, the police actually reported the seizure of some arms and ammunition, along with 23 boxes of cannabis-infused vapes and cannabis chocolates. And that really sparked the discussion this morning about the dangers of vaping, how attractive they're making the packaging look so that, young people will want to use this. And, the doctor was telling us how bad it can be for you. What do you think about vaping, Lennox?
Well, I want to tell you, you have raised an issue that is very close to me at this particular point in time. I have about several students. I'm not going to name the name of. I'm not going to name the school, but they have been suspended for vaping in the school. And what I have observed is that they believe that vaping is cool and they have a right so to do. And I think if that's another dimension, quite apart from the health aspect, I'm sure that would have been touched this morning, but certainly in terms of their right and the fact that that is prohibited material and ought not to be exercised in the school environment, I think that requires another piece of education to add to the knowledge that these students may or may not have.
Yeah. You know, the doctor was also telling us that when this was created by, I believe, a Chinese man, it was never meant to be malicious. It was simply meant to replace the need for cigarettes for him. And what Dr. Diyal Singh was also telling us was that people are adding so many different things to it. And he also talked about something called popcorn lungs, I believe, where they were putting vitamin E additives in the vapes, and it was really messing with the lungs, and a lot of young people were heading into the hospitals complaining of lung issues. So the young people are dying, you know, or are getting really sick, and that's really affecting us. You know, as you said something, it's fashionable. You don't realize a lot of people like to hold that vape and, you know, just be puffing it. Have you ever seen that? It's just a thing.
Well, my initial understanding was to make certain that you don't have the effects of the potential for cancer that, of course, tobacco would facilitate and therefore the cocaine in it. But certainly to have it now emerge or evolve in the way that you are describing, I think it is frightening. Especially if it is coming to be a very popular thing. It's like wearing your pants below your bottom. Yeah. So I mean, it's a social thing, yes, but I think more education will certainly have to be, develop programs like that in order to inform the population and young people in particular of the dangers of this this device or this vice that they may be inclined to.
Yeah, and a lot of times, you know, you may notice signs with your children, but you're not really looking out for the fact that they might be vaping. And also the doctor explained that sometimes they go through withdrawals, and those are things that we need to educate also parents to look out for. And also parents, do your due diligence and go maybe research. There's a wealth of information on the internet. Speak to your doctors and really figure out how you can find out if your children are doing the wrong thing. In this case, that's vaping. Way too early. At least let them make that decision, you know, after when they become an adult. That's what I would say.
Well, I want to commend you for taking that issue, you know, and making it the public matter that it ought to be, because by sheer serendipity, by sheer chance, as I said, I know of several students who have been suspended for that activity. What I didn't know, which you have provided me this morning with, is the variety of dangers that it poses to the health of these young people or those who are inclined to practice vaping, and therefore I want to commend you for that.
Well, thanks, Lennox, for always having a good chat with me. I will talk to you next Wednesday. Hopefully, Andy will be here or not. That's okay. You know, my heart.
Frankly, I'm not looking forward to it.
Have a great day, Lennox, and good morning to all of your listeners this morning.
Yes, and same to you.
All right, take care. Yes. That was the link up with Talk City 91.1 FM.
It's unfiltered, y'all.
Unmatched.
Unscripted.
You're dressed for talk. This is the link up. This is the link up with Talk City 91.1 FM.
All right. right, so remember we told you if you wanted to celebrate a birthday with us, all you had to do was send us an email and we'll be celebrating you on Trinidad and Tobago today. Well, today we have two very special birthdays. First up, Roland Stewart. Happy birthday to you from Talk City 91.1 FM Beyond Limits. That's Roland Stewart. Happy, 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 happy birthday. And also, we're celebrating Alicia Mohammed. So happy birthday to you, Alicia. We hope you have a beautiful and blessed day and that this coming year is filled with all of the amazing things that life has to offer you. So that's how we celebrate you on Trinidad and Tobago today. Remember, head across to our social media channels and you can get all the information you need on how you can send us a quick message and a picture and we can celebrate you as well. And if you want to reach out to us, all you have to do is send us an email at tttoday@ttt.co.tt and be a part of the conversation that's shaping our nation. Trinidad and Tobago Today, news you can trust and the stories that matter.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Take it front with Officer Shabadi. Go beyond limits with Roland Stewart. Drive home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Coming up on Caribbean Passport, it's pulsating energy, deep cultural traditions. It's none other than Barbados crop over. Being at one with nature is no problem in Antigua and Barbuda, so let's swim with the stingrays. Fashion that's all-inclusive. And Caribbean tourism is at the forefront in Guyana. Be viewing Caribbean Passport as we explore the beauty of our region, right here on this station.
Ever wondered what happens before the lights come on? Before the crowd pours in? Before the magic hits the stage? This is your all-access pass. Sneak Peek with Junior K takes you behind the scenes of the biggest cultural moments and the hottest events across TNT. From the sound checks to the stage setups, from final rehearsals to exclusive interviews. If it's about to be big, we're already there. Catch Sneak Peek airing daily on TTT and relive every moment on all our social media platforms. Sneak Peek with Junior K, where the story starts before the spotlight.
Zena James with your weather update. Stable conditions are expected on Wednesday, bringing another hot, mostly sunny and slightly hazy day across Trinidad and Tobago. Temperatures are expected to climb to around 33 degrees in Trinidad and 32 degrees in Tobago, with only the chance for a few brief passing showers. A mild to moderate concentration of Saharan dust will continue to affect our islands, so those sensitive to reduced air quality should take the necessary precautions. Across our seas, conditions remain favorable, with wave heights reaching up to 1.3 meters in open waters and below 0.5 meters in sheltered areas.
Our emancipation season continues to inspire new expressions of African heritage through music, art, and culture. And this morning, we're meeting an artist creating a sound of his own. Dimitri is the founder of Afro Ritual Soul, a new musical genre blending ancestral Yoruba influences with contemporary soul and R&B. And his debut single, Spirit, is the first release from his upcoming body of work, The Invocation, exploring heritage and identity and cultural remembrance. Well, Dimitri joins us now to introduce us to Afro Ritual Soul. Good morning, Dimitri. How are you?
Good morning. I'm all right.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you're introducing something you call Afro Ritual Soul. What exactly is that?
All right. So, Afro Ritual Soul, for me, is a becoming of self. What it is, what the genre is comprised of, is it fuses African rhythms, so Yoruba, Caribbean, that drum pattern, that vibe, as well as, jazz, R&B. Basically, I'm a musician, so I'm influenced by music on a whole.
Yeah.
So this is me not trying to be boxed in. And I mean, it doesn't mean that, this is where I stay forever. This is the only type of music I'm doing. But this is something very close to me. And I've created a sound, and, well, as you would have mentioned, Spirit is only the very first track in the body of work I'm calling The Invocation. The Invocation itself is, in itself, a story, a ritual, more or less. So you should be seeing a lot more of me.
Good. Now, let's talk about Spirit. I know you're calling this the Emancipation 2026 anthem as well. Right. Tell us about the vision behind Spirit and what you're hoping that this track will achieve.
As cliche as it might sound, Spirit was a very happy accident. I went into the studio to do something completely different.
Right.
We stumbled upon a tune which led to a guitar riff that felt very almost New Orleans, down the bayou type voodoo. And the song just kind of took on a life of its own from there. And, well, here we are.
Yeah. Now, you're exploring African heritage through a very contemporary sound, as we've discussed. How do you make that history and culture connect with the younger audiences now?
All right, well, I, myself, being of African descent, a lot of that, I guess, the origins, because of how we would have gotten to the diaspora, was very diluted. So a lot of things seemed very taboo. For me, this is making it a lot more palatable. I, of course, have a very deep connection to my ancestry. As a matter of fact, this entire project, I like to say, is me living the dreams of my ancestors at this point. Yeah. Especially coming out of emancipation season, they would have paved a path that they didn't live to see. And, we're here to do that now.
All right. Well, I know that you're going to have a performance for us this morning. But before we head to that, what's next for Dimitri?
All right. Well, actually, in the midst of this was going to be an album release. My team and I, we've created an event. It's a cultural marketplace. We actually have Moda Live on board, and it launches on Saturday the 8th. That's next Saturday at the Moda Live Oasis in Valsayn. It's a cultural marketplace. There are artisans of varying genres, and it's creating a platform for other artists, poets, storytellers, etc. And of course, myself and my band will close off the show on the 29th.
All right. So tell us about your performance before we wrap up.
Well, very straightforward. I'm about to do, I think, what is the live version of Spirit, second television.
With your guest here as well.
Yeah, I have Karen on drums.
All right, Karen, good morning.
Karen has been, we did a lot of work with the Emancipation Support Committee, so I've been back to back.
Well, you get to hear it live, Spirit, live and direct to you from the studios of Trinidad and Tobago today. Also, where we say goodbye, see us tomorrow, 6 to 8, where we do this all over again. Here he is, performing live, Dimitri.
Emancipate the spirit. Emancipate the spirit, wow. Emancipate the spirit. Emancipate the spirit, wow. Emancipate the spirit. Emancipate the spirit, wow. Emancipate the spirit. Just liberate it. Free the spirit and make it up. The rhythm will make it up. If you feel it, just wave ya. Let the spirit take over. Free the spirit and make it up. The rhythm will make ya. If you feel it, just wave ya. Let the spirit take over. Holy fallen ancestors, kings and queens before us, the elements all around us, come to life, elevator. Bestow your power on your sons and your daughters. Pour it down to the mothers, strengthen the fathers. Bestow your power on the sons and your daughters. Pour it down to the mothers, strengthen the fathers. Emancipate the spirit. Spirit, emancipate the spirit. Oh, emancipate the spirit. Emancipate the spirit. Oh, emancipate the spirit. Emancipate the spirit. Oh, emancipate the spirit. Just liberate it. Free the spirit and make it dance. The rhythm gon' make you dance. If you feel it, just wave your hand. Let the spirit, the spirit, the spirit, free the spirit and make it. The rhythm gon' make ya. If you feel it, just wave. Oh Lord, tomorrow, Baba Legba, Mama Oya, Hey Monja, Oshun Oshun, Ogun Ogun, Kabisi Shango, Hey Olakun, Osai Osai, Babalua, Colena Chelsea, Onrele, Wobatala, Erile, Ache Ache, emancipate the spirit. Emancipate the spirit. Oh, emancipate the spirit. Emancipate the spirit. Oh, emancipate the spirit. Emancipate the spirit. Oh, emancipate the spirit. Just liberate us.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's terrific Tune Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world from Super Z, or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forests alongside our robot pals from Bugs Bot Ignition, or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. Catch terrific Tune Time weekdays at 4:15 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. It's fun-filled adventure with terrific Tune Time right here on TTT.
Coming up on Caribbean Passport, it's pulsating energy, deep cultural traditions. It's none other than Barbados crop over. Being at one with nature is no problem in Antigua and Barbuda, so let's swim with the stingrays. Fashion that's all-inclusive. And Caribbean tourism is at the forefront in Guyana. Be viewing Caribbean Passport as we explore the beauty of our region, right here on this station.
Your stories, your communities, your country. TTT News is everywhere, on the ground, across Trinidad and Tobago, and on every smart device. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Good morning, this is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. Emancipation Day should not be about focusing on our differences. This from Executive Chairman of the Board of Governors of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, Professor Selwyn Cudjoe, ORTT.
Speaks to our differences rather than our commonalities. I would think a day like this, Emancipation Day, should speak about our common sufferings that we all have been through, both in terms of emancipation and to some degree of indentureship. So it's unfortunate that we had to go down that road.
Professor Cudjoe noted that there was also controversy over UTT's emancipation program as it featured East Indian performances alongside African performances. He noted that under the former Minister of Education, Dr. Nian Gadsby Dolly, a similar occurrence took place.
On May 20th, 2023, under her watch. According to recordings, it featured African drumming alongside East Indian, of course, instruments. So in a way, that was a UTT function. So what we did was not particularly new, but we so consumed with some silly notions of racism that all of a sudden that became a problem.
He noted that as a national and educational institution, UTT needs to celebrate the entire cultural profile of Trinidad and Tobago. In other news, convicted prisoners sentenced to hard labor could soon be deployed to support community cleanup programs across Trinidad and Tobago. Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander made the announcement while outlining the government's latest work program, which aims to utilize prison labor for public service and community improvement.
We are going to reintroduce where persons who have been charged and convicted by a court and is sentenced to hard labor, we are going to reintroduce those persons to come back out in the streets and help with the cleanup process.
The Homeland Security Minister said the current system does not always reflect the intent of a hard labor sentence, adding that meaningful work could also help with rehabilitation and reintegration into society.
If you are convicted and 12 months or 2 years hard labor, you know what is hard labor in the jail right now? A man smoking, a man is on his phone, internet, and all these things. That's not hard labor. And if someone is smart and is on the inside, he could use that process to start to reintegrate himself back into the public. Let the public see, listen, that fellow out there is hardworking. And it is happening right now to some people.
Minister Alexander said allowing inmates to participate in productive activities could help change public perceptions while giving offenders an opportunity to demonstrate responsibility. In some sport now, Trinidad and Tobago came agonizingly close to men's field hockey gold at the CAC Games in Santo Domingo. The TNT stickmen clawed back from 2 goals down to force a shootout against Cuba before falling just short 2-1. Cuba raced ahead early in the men's gold medal match of the CAC Games in Santo Domingo, but Trinidad and Tobago goalkeeper Malcolm Batiste kept them within reach, and captain Mikel Pay, playing in his 163rd international cap, pulled one back late in the third quarter. Then Dylan Francis produced the moment of the match, converting a penalty corner in the 58th minute to level it 2-2 and send the final to a shootout. Teague Marcano kept the pressure on in the shootout to score TNT's lone goal as Cuba goalkeeper proved too sharp for TNT's stickmen. Cuba prevailed 2-1 in the shootout to claim gold, with TNT earning silver. And that was your TDT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. On behalf of our entire team here, have a great day.
This is TTT. Live for local.
This is Trinidad and Tobago Today. Have a great day, everyone.
After hours of being live on television, what's the first thing you usually feel when the show finally ends?
So when the show finally ends, I feel satisfied. I feel happy. I feel content knowing that we were able to unpack some of the major stories taking place in the country and the world, and be able to prepare our viewers every single day to go out into the world and have conversations about these things, to have them understand the truth about what's happening, and also, just to get them ready for the day ahead and to set the tone.
You've spent years in media across different platforms. When you look back, how did this journey really begin for you?
Actually, this journey began right here at TTT. In January of 2014, I began here as a junior producer and a presenter on Next 99.1 FM. And one thing led to the next. I spent many years in media, and now I'm back here at home in TTT.
You spent a lot of time on radio. Do you ever miss being behind the microphone?
Actually, I don't really, because now I get to reach both the viewers and listeners, and I've built such an amazing family that they go wherever I am, and it's a beautiful experience to be able to reach everyone every single day, Monday to Friday from 6 to 8.
You're one of the first faces the country sees every morning. Does that responsibility ever feel like a burden to you?
Sometimes it can, but what a privilege